Hey, Scott here. If you're watching this video, either you already have the DeWalt DW735 planer, or maybe you're interested in purchasing one and you're trying to find out some more information. I will say this is a well-designed planer, probably the best benchtop planer available, but there's one major design flaw. Let's look at it. As you can see, the discharge port right here on the back, this one has a built-in chip fan, and that thing will throw some chips. So that part's good. Here's the problem. When you connect your hose, it wants to sag right over your material that's coming out. I know a lot of people have put an elbow on that, one way or the other, and that solves that problem. But the second problem with this placement is the folding table. So what good is the table if you can't actually use it? Especially for me, like I wheel this against the wall. I can't leave this hanging out. You have to remove that. You gotta find somewhere to stick it. So rather than put an elbow on it, I ordered the part from Jacob at Explosive Woodworks. I'll put a link to his Etsy store down here in the description. For this, we're gonna take off the top cover here and bring it out. So let's look at what's involved in getting this installed and how well it works. So first we need to remove the cover. Another nice thing, DeWalt includes this wrench, slots in right here, fits all the bolts you'll need to ever open. And we just lift that off. So in here to remove this cover, there's 3 red thumb screws. Mine's a bit dusty. Then we lift that out of place. I've also upgraded my planer with the Helix cutter head. This really makes a big difference in both the cutting and in the level of noise. So if we look at that, the holes line up perfectly, gives us a straight chute up. Let's lock it in. So it looks like this is a 3D printed piece. It's pretty cool what you can do with technology now that you don't have to have a special molding machine. And not to over tighten it, I don't want to crack it. So let's give it a test. Okay, real quick before it can run, there's a safety switch, and that's what this little part's for. It fits around here and can screw down. Ultimately, I plan to put the top back down, but I went to hit the switch and it wouldn't work. Forgot that part, so here we go. Now let's give it a try. So as you can see, I got very little thrown out. A wider board, I'm gonna guess it can do even better because it's really gonna hit across that whole section. Now to figure out how to disable the blower motor and cut a hole in the top for this discharge chute. I removed the little switch override piece and then using the edge of a pencil marked the chute and pushed this down. That left a couple little marks on the top for where the spacing, which actually turns out to be dead center of the piece. So to make it easier to drill, I ripped out some of the webbing, and here we go. And just use a 4-inch hole saw, which is perfect for the size of the dust chute. Alright, so after trying to take the front off, thinking there might be a way to disconnect the fan, there wasn't, so don't do that. What I did, as I looked further, this single motor drives the fan and the belt for the planer, so I think the other option is to look at removing the fan blades. So we'll try that. After hunting around, it looks like there's 2 bolts and then a couple of snaps that will remove this housing, and then I can get to the fan blade itself. It turned out there was 3 of the little snap clasps, one's kind of buried down underneath. Then using a 1/2 inch wrench, I could remove the nut holding the blade on, and from the back side here, I just had something stuck in place to keep it from spinning. I put the washer and nut back on and tightened this down, so if I ever need to replace this, I haven't lost the pieces. I then put the cover back over where that fan blade would be, and then added back on the cover for the planer. Alright, I hope you found this video helpful. Hopefully some of the stuff that I ran into, you won't now have to run into if you decide to do this. I'm super excited about having this and not dealing with that hose right in the way of my material coming out. So don't forget to subscribe, like, throw in some comments. Let me know what you think about the video, about the product, and again, link to the Etsy shop in the description. Thanks.